Hello, I am Merlin from Tallinn University, Center for Innovation in Education, and I am here to talk a little bit about Estonian education. I will start off by talking a bit about Estonian education, what are our strengths, and how we have gotten to where we are right now. I will then go on to discussing the current challenges that we are facing, and I will finish off by talking about what we here at Tallinn University are doing to tackle all these challenges. You have probably already heard that Estonian education is the best in Europe, and that it's also among the top 3 across the globe. But what is it exactly that makes Estonian education the best? According to 2015 Pisa results, our students are very skilled in math, in reading, in science. And at the same time, we have very few low performance. Only 10 to 5% of our students performed lowly in these tests. And at the same time, there were many of our students who performed very highly. Our students were also very good collaborative problem solvers and demonstrated high skills in financial literacy. And they also claim that they don't feel anxiety when it comes to schoolwork. And last but not least, our schools are known for its equity. As in, the student's social economical background does not play an important role in determining how well they do in school and how good they feel at school. And why all of these things are especially noteworthy is that we have managed to do all this in the short span of 27 years. In 1991, Estonia gained its independence from the Soviet Union, and we managed in this short period of time to transform our educational system from one that is focused on control, on instruction, on order and demands, into one that is student-centered. And we have also been continuously improving ourselves. Our students have shown better and better results with each PISA test result that has come out. And at the same time, with each year that comes, our students also claim to be a bit more happier at school and doing their schoolwork. And we have managed to do all that with a relatively affordable budget. We haven't made any major changes into the educational budget, and to this day, our budget remains below the OECD average. So all in all, the success of our school education is not mainly focused or caused by our long-standing traditions in teaching and learning, but more so about what we have done and how we have gotten to where we are, what kind of systems we have implemented. Our schools enjoy a very high level of autonomy, and same do our teachers. The school leader is the one who is in charge of choosing their own staff, and they get to take all the budget decisions when it comes to the schoolwork. The teacher is the one who is in charge and gets to choose what exactly is done on the classroom level and how it's going to be done. Our students have free and universal access to pre-primary education, to primary and secondary education. And as of 2013, our higher education is also free of charge. And school students also are provided free school lunches, free textbooks, and transportation to their school. Our teachers are highly competent and committed to their work. 93% of our teachers have a master's degree, and 90% of them are also satisfied with their own work. And coming from a digitally innovative society, Estonians are used to seeing the change around them in their everyday life, which means that we also see the need to change and improve our practices at school and in teaching and learning, which is also one of the reasons why we have been improving so far. And last but not least, Estonians still do value education very highly, and that is also one of the reasons behind our success. But as I mentioned, the world around us is changing, and so must we. And to do all that, the policymakers and educational experts in Estonia have put together a document called Estonian Lifelong Learning Strategy that stipulates what are our goals in terms of education, formal education, non-formal education, and informal education by 2020. And the main aim of this strategy and therefore of our educational system is to implement an approach in teaching and learning that supports each learner's individual and social development, the acquisition of learning skills, creativity, and entrepreneurship. and to do that in all levels of education. But specifically to schools, there are two main challenges that we are facing today. First, that everybody should have and therefore be offered the most appropriate learning opportunities. And this requires us to change the learning and teaching practices in school on an everyday basis, and also to revise and change our assessment practices. And to help schools tackle these challenges, Tallinn University has created a Center for Innovation in Education, which is a network-based competence center of people with expertise in different areas in the field of education. And the main aim of the center is to gather, analyze, design, and share innovative practices. The activities of the center are focused on 5 specific topics. The first one being monitoring and diagnostics, with the aim of mapping Estonian school culture and gathering the best practices from abroad as well as from Estonia and sharing them with all stakeholders who are interested in that. So what we do at the center is, first, we research. We look at what do teachers do in their schoolwork, whether it's effective and how they plan changes into their teaching practice. We look at school culture. We map out what the school is like, which school is special in which way, and what are their further development needs. And at the same time, we also look around in the world, and we look around in Estonian schools to find what are the things that the teachers are doing well, what are the best practices. We gather them and we test their effectiveness in supporting meaningful learning, and then we disseminate them across Estonia through seminars, trainings, and other events. Second focus being the development of didactics. Here, on one hand, once we have looked at what is being done well already and what are the best practices that we see around us, there's also a need to develop new practices, because not innovation can't always be imported or exported. So the aim of this kind of focus field is to bring together teachers, researchers, university lecturers, and students, and guide them or help them in designing these innovative learning practices that are necessary, that tackle the challenges and the problems that teachers are facing in their everyday teaching life. And we collect the evidence on their effectiveness, and those methods and practices that work, we then share them with everybody interested as well. Third focus being school culture. As we talk about changing education and changing how teaching practice happens, the main focus should be on helping schools, helping school teams develop and implement changes. So we have experts at the university who coach schools and entire school teams in change management and leadership skills. We have currently a few projects together with schools where experts from the university come and help the school leaders and school teams to decide what are their development needs, to really help them figure out what exactly they need to do, and then coach them in planning their own development and implementing it. Further focus, university didactics. Estonian teacher education is one of the flags of our education, and we can't leave that behind. When we talk about changing education and changing the practices in schools, we need to start with changing the practices in teacher education, and on a broader base also within the university. So the university didactics focus theme is to develop a model of university staff professional development to help them implement innovative and effective practices of teaching at the university level as well. And what we do there, it's a set of different development programs where university people come together, they plan their own, they decide their own problem, and they plan their own development in how to improve, how to change the culture within the university. It's also about bringing lecturers together in sharing their best practices and learning from each other, but also lecturers really studying their own teaching process, planning changes and measuring the effectiveness of their own teaching, so that we can really say that we use evidence-based practices in teaching at this university as well. And the fifth and the last focus theme of the center is partnership relations. which on one hand is focused on developing or creating this network of partner schools that we work together with in research and in co-creation, as well as teaching practice for teacher students. But on another hand, the partnership relations relates to or kind of focuses on bringing together different stakeholders and creating a physical as well as a social space for everyone to come together and work together. And we have different events and different models that we're testing to build these partnerships and collaboration. And we have a very dedicated team at the Center for Innovation in Education who are, on one hand, very open to really learning about what is happening around the world and what are the best practices that we can learn from. But on the other hand, we are more than eager to share our experience and to share the Estonian context with you. And this is why we have created a set of presentation packages to really open up the Estonian context, to describe and go in depth about it, and to show what is being done currently in Estonia. So each presentation package has two forms. There's a short version and a long version. The short version lasts for 90 minutes and it includes a presentation about a certain topic and a discussion about the implications abroad and also in Estonia. And the long version takes a full day, and it includes the presentation of the topic, a school visit, a discussion with the teachers and the school people, as well as a discussion on the implications and in Estonia and abroad, as well as an implications of what we can do now. So the first package is titled Estonian Education, Excellence in Pisa and Looking for Changes. Well, the typical Estonian teacher is a 48-year-old woman who has a master's degree in teaching, which on one hand really shows that, yes, our teachers are very competent, but at the same time we are faced with an aging teacher population, which presents us in Estonia with a certain challenge that we are tackling already. So the aim of this presentation package is to really open up what is Estonia doing good, where are we succeeding, why are we really succeeding, and then at the same time opening up what are our current challenges and how we are planning to tackle them and what are we doing currently to tackle these challenges. The second presentation being about the changing of teaching practices in Estonian schools, the why and the how. Estonian school students really are not unhappy at schools, but at the same time, looking at international reports, they are never among the happiest in schools. And the research that we ourselves conducted in Estonia shows that relationships in schools between students and also between teachers and students are the biggest predictor of their well-being and their happiness in their school life, which again shows us that there is definitely an aspect that we should focus on in improving our practice. So the presentation package would include the reasoning behind why we actually need to change things and how we are planning to do it and what are we already doing to change the practices in our schools. Third topic being collaborative teaching and collaborative learning. Estonian students showed that they are very good collaborative problem solvers in the Pisa results, but at the same time, Estonian employers claim that the young people that they hire, they are still lacking in 21st century skills. And there must be something behind that. Collaborative learning is a lot more than just solving one problem collaboratively. It includes or kind of requires a set of self-regulation and teamwork skills that not everybody necessarily has. And you can solve a problem without really having all these skills as well. So now our shift in collaborative learning as well as collaborative teaching is in figuring out what are these models and how can we implement these models that actually support collaboration in schools. So this presentation package really opens up why collaboration in school is needed and what are we doing in Estonian schools, what are the good things that are already happening, but also how we can improve. Fourth package titled Innovative Practices in Estonian Teacher Education. Estonian teachers are among the best people, best teachers, let's say, in the world when it comes to professional development and actually seeking out professional development opportunities. Which again, probably is a sign of a reason why our teachers are that competent and committed to their teaching. But at the same time, if we are planning for changes and our teachers are already training all the time, then this means that if we are going to change things, then the change is not in providing them with more learning opportunities, but rather changing the opportunities that they already have for learning, which includes teacher education on a primary level as well as continuing education. So this package is about opening up what Estonian teacher education is like, how they start off in their master's degree, how the induction year looks like for new teachers, and how they engage in professional development on a daily basis, and how we are and have changed already this practice. And the last one is titled Learning and Teaching in Technology-Enhanced Environments. You probably already have heard as well that in Estonia, or e-Estonia, students as young as 7 years study programming at schools. And there's nothing to say against that. It's true. Students do learn programming. There's a lot of robotics in schools. There's computer lessons. Teachers use iPads. And technology is an inherent part in Estonia. But technology in education is not about using digital tools. It's about using the affordances of technology in really bringing on meaningful learning experiences. So this package is about introducing what are the real current ICT trends in education, and discussing also about the experience of digital turn in Estonia, about how the teachers became comfortable with technology and why and how are they really using it in their everyday practice. So these packages were mostly about really getting to know the Estonian context and the Estonian experience. But the same way that we value individual approach in teaching and learning, we also do so in our work. And if you find that any of the things that I mentioned earlier about the presentations, as well as our activities and how we are working with schools, are relevant to you, then we invite you to also get in touch with us about that. We have experience in diagnostics, in really introducing our methods of research when it comes to mapping out the school culture as well as teaching everyday practices in our schools. We have experience with trainings, in-service trainings for teachers as well as university staff about new paradigms of teaching and learning, about innovative teaching methods, about paradigm change, about changing the school culture, as well as about really designing your own educational innovations. And on an organizational level, we have experience with coaching schools in change management and leadership practices, and we are very open to sharing our experience with you as well. So I would like to invite you to come and get a glimpse of Estonian education. And you can start by getting in touch with me or finding more information at our website. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you soon here at Tallinn University.